Blake Lively is proving that she's a bully.
Allegedly. The lawyer lady up there in the booth is telling me to say allegedly.
1 minute, she's posing in soft linen and curated candids for Instagram, pretending her life is all cinnamon rolls and cottagecore. The next, she's hurling subpoenas like ninja stars at YouTubers with 2,000 subs and ex-users whose biggest crime was having an opinion. It's one of the most absurd celebrity meltdowns that I have ever witnessed. Let's be real, Blake's version of events reads like a terrible script she's trying to write, direct, and star in all at once. A script where she's the brave heroine hunted by an invisible smear campaign launched by Wayfair, social media commentators, and astrology TikTokers. Except, the plot holes are glaring. And the audience? We're not buying it. Because after months of discovery, court filings, subpoenas, and pearl-clutching statements, there's still one thing missing: evidence. Not a shred of proof that anyone was paid to attack her. Not a receipt. Not a whisper of coordination. What there is evidence of, however, is a public figure using the courts like a personal hit squad against people who dared criticize her. That's not protecting your image. That's legal thuggery. She started by claiming Wayfair orchestrated a digital smear campaign against her, allegedly funneling money through PR consultant Melissa Nathan and the agency Tag. Her lawyers painted this elaborate conspiracy where small-time content creators were recruited to destroy Blake's reputation. Wayfair's response? A resounding, "What are you even talking about?" Their filings made it crystal clear there was no operation. Melissa Nathan responded to media inquiries. That's it. She didn't hire, coordinate, or conspire. She did her job. The only smear campaign was Blake smearing the dignity out of the legal system with baseless accusations. Let's talk about the subpoenas, because this is where Blake really showed her true colors. Instead of going after legitimate media outlets, she zeroed in on small creators, some with no monetization, no sponsors, not even full names attached to their accounts. One was an astrology YouTuber with fewer than 300 subscribers. Blake's team dragged that person into a federal subpoena over a comment section. This isn't damage control. This is narcissism on parade. Nothing says guilty like trying to silence people. And Blake? She's not just playing the victim, she's demanding a standing ovation for it. Her Darvo game is Olympic level. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. She's a PR-trained steamroller, dressed in Chanel and wielding a cease and desist. She could win a bully competition against Fortune 500 CEOs. And she's proving that no one can outdo a narcissistic woman on a rampage. This isn't the first time she's used scorched earth tactics. It's exactly what she did with Justin Baldoni. When he wouldn't bend to her script notes, she accused him of harassment. When the lawsuit didn't gain traction, she blamed the media backlash on a coordinated PR takedown. Now, she's recycling the same delusions, only this time she's dragging anonymous Twitter users and low-view YouTubers into courtrooms. Her legal team claimed she couldn't respond to allegations publicly because documents were under attorney's eyes-only protection, so Wayfair agreed to lift those designations. Guess what? She still didn't say a word. Because she never wanted to respond. She wanted to hide behind a curtain and play Wizard of Oz, while the rest of us dealt with flying monkeys. But here's the thing, Blake's legal moves backfired spectacularly. The subpoenas triggered the very backlash she was trying to suppress. Content creators rallied. They shared court documents. They fought back. Motions to quash poured in. One creator recorded a phone call with Blake's legal office to verify the subpoena and posted it. Blake's team cried invasion of privacy, conveniently ignoring that they were the ones prying first. And then came the flood of irony. Blake subpoenaed content creators for talking about her lawsuit, which is public record. She wants to punish people for discussing a case that she herself made front-page news. This isn't strategy, it's stupidity in couture. Her version of events relies on the belief that if she says it dramatically enough, it must be true. She's spinning a fantasy where she's the tragic heroine, crushed under the weight of internet trolls and shadowy PR firms. But the evidence paints a different picture. A powerful woman using intimidation tactics against people who dared question her version of events. The most telling part? Her social media metrics were thriving when this alleged smear campaign occurred. Her businesses were booming. Her image wasn't tanking, it was trending. So either the smear campaign was the worst-run operation in PR history, or it simply didn't exist. She claims Tag identified the content creators and that she only subpoenaed them based on that list. But Tag's responses were vague, shielded behind confidentiality claims. And when challenged, they clarified they merely named people who had talked about Blake. That's it. There was no proof of collusion, no contracts, no cash flow. So Blake's rationale? If you said her name out loud and it wasn't accompanied by a heart emoji, she considered you an enemy combatant. And she didn't stop at YouTube. She started sending subpoenas to users on X. One of them, a lawyer and part-time creator with no monetization, posted her own subpoena. She had fewer than 2,500 followers. No sponsors, no ads, just opinions. The subpoena demanded personal data, financial info, and account records. That's not justice. That's a digital mugging. Her team is arguing that the backlash from these subpoenas, backlash that she created, mind you, is proof of a coordinated attack. Let that sink in. Blake is blaming people for reacting negatively to her own legal aggression and then using that backlash as justification for more legal aggression. If that's not delusion, it's criminal. Somebody make that make sense. She doesn't want answers. She wants obedience. She doesn't want the truth. She wants silence. And if that means threatening everyday people into submission with the weight of her millions and her legal team, so be it. The judge isn't blind to this. Wayfair's attorney, Kevin Fritz, called it out clearly. He said Blake's actions weren't based on facts, they were based on feelings. And feelings don't win lawsuits. Facts do. That's why her claims keep getting tossed, her motions keep getting denied, and her reputation keeps circling the drain. She's burning bridges like it's a brand campaign. Ryan Reynolds? Silent. PR firms? Distancing. Even fans are turning, questioning why their so-called wholesome queen is subpoenaing random women on TikTok for posting astrology memes. And if this case goes to trial, and at this point, it's looking like it might, everything will be exposed. Every email, every draft, every hissy fit behind the scenes. Because Discovery doesn't play favorites. It doesn't care how symmetrical your face is, and once that curtain is pulled back, Blake's control issues will be center stage. She wants to paint herself as the wronged woman, the silenced voice, the fighter for justice, but no one's buying it anymore. Because justice doesn't look like hunting down astrology creators and threatening them with court dates. It doesn't look like sending subpoenas over screenshots. It looks like bullying. And if there's one thing Blake Lively has made crystal clear over the past few months, it's that she's good at it. In the end, she's not fighting to protect herself from defamation. She's fighting to protect a lie. And the internet? It's not afraid of her anymore. She tried to weaponize the courts, tried to gag the press, tried to make an example of anyone who said her name without her permission. But the only thing she's proven is that she'll do anything to avoid accountability.